Hey guys, so today I'm going to be outlining this drawing of Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia. It's actually his birthday today, so I prepared this drawing for him. I did a what was it? I did one for Denki Kaminari already and Shinso because their birthdays have passed. So now it's Deku's turn. I actually am back to work because our workplace opened up again. So yeah, we there's some pros and cons about working right now because there's a bunch of people who are still not following like the social distancing and everything, so it's not enjoyable. Any videos that I post before this one that say like I'm still in the quarantine, where it's like staying at home, it's not the case anymore because I didn't expect them to call me back until like a week before this. Like, by the time you guys see this video, I have already worked around 2.5 weeks. It's been kind of rough because the first few days we went back to work, the AC wasn't working, so it was just like all sweaty in the store and it was really uncomfortable. And still, even though my manager called up the mall and they got the AC working, it's still really hot. It's horrible. Like, I'm still very sweaty every time I do like a task. So yeah, it's a lot of physical labor. So I'm moving around a lot and it gets really sweaty. The difficulty about this, I would say, is like controlling like customers when they're buying stuff and like they want to see products from the boxes. We have to tell them no. And a lot of people, like, they don't ask at all. They just start opening up stuff and then you find it around the store and you're like, okay, I guess I have to fix that. um Not enjoyable. So, I don't know if you see my other drawing that I uploaded a while ago. It's on my drawings playlist if you want to see. But if you've seen my Deku that I drew like the first time, he actually looks a bit different. I think it's because I kind of changed up the eyes. I tried to make the eyes, like the pupils, a bit bigger to be more realistic in terms of um the first time I was trying to kind of resemble the eyes that the artists for My Hero Academia, like how they drew the eyes to begin with, like the creator, how he drew the eyes to have small pupils and stuff like that. But over time, I was like, I'm losing a part of like, because certain body features I keep so that way it looks a bit realistic, and I was losing that, so I decided to go in for like making the eyes a bit more like my style instead of like straight on having the eyes they they drew. um yeah, I think because at first I was like, sometimes I want to be accurate in terms of that it looks like the character, because I want to give respect to like the artist, that the character actually looks like the character that they made, because the characters that other artists make are so pretty, but at the same time I want to focus on my style too. So having that said, it's a bit like confusing when I ended up making the eyes, like the pupils, smaller. when I was drawing. So then I went back and I said, okay, I'm just gonna from now on draw bigger pupils the way that I do. My tablet likes to unfocus right now, but I'm trying to get it to focus. Yeah, so if it looks a bit different, I think it looks cuter with like the bigger eyes. I think when I draw with small eyes and pupils, it just looks very serious, and I think it gives off of a more serious vibe than I personally would want. So this is much better. Like for his face wise, it was much better. His hair, I got to actually draw his hair properly this time. Um, the first time I drew him in his hero costume, it looks really good. It was just my first time drawing like characters in there, like these types of characters, and especially because they're more fit and buff, so it's kind of like a bit difficult with their costume on to like draw them like how their body looks and stuff like that. And then I had to keep in mind I was drawing him smaller than Bakugo, so there was that. But yeah, when I was drawing him, his hair kind of it looked okay. It just looked really messy. It wasn't that great. I think the way I drew it now is more like formed compared to how I did before, which is a good sign of improvement. I mean, it's not bad to improve. That's the one thing, because I don't normally draw people with curly hair, and Deku is one of those characters that just straight up has like a lot of hair and a lot of volume, and you kind of have to be able to capture that in your style. And I think I was struggling the most with his hair. Like other characters, I drew their hair and it looks pretty okay, but I think over time, the more I drew them, their hair looked better as well. So I am getting the hang of all the different styles of hair that I had to draw. I will have to say, Deku, sometimes I don't like, sometimes like, he's kind of like Shoto Todoroki for me, where I give them like appreciation that I love the character, but I don't really what is it? I don't always do that. So it's one of those characters where it's like, oh, I love that character. If you mention it, I'll say I love that character a lot, but I don't really mention it a lot. Like I talk to my friends about the characters that I like all the time, but it's just one of those characters where it's like, oh, I like that character a lot, but I never really talk about him so much anymore because I'm so focused on the other characters. and so and so I think it's good that like I'm drawing these birthday things, so that way I kind of have a focus on characters that I didn't show a main focus on. So yeah. I am eventually thinking, because I'm so into hero animes right now, I'm eventually thinking of maybe drawing and making up my own concept of like characters that are heroes. I'm just so focused on my Hero Academia. I feel like maybe some of like my fear is when I start doing that, the transfer of like certain powers is gonna be like for example, I was a bit worried when I was drawing my logo. If you see my logo now on the YouTube channel and my art pages, it's the same logo. That's actually me, but with firework powers. At first, when I was talking to my friends, I was like, is that too close to Bakugo? And they said a bit, but it's still quite different in terms of like how it's going to work and like also the strength of power. So I did this thing where it's like, because it's fireworks, it can be dangerous, but the level, but I said like, depending on like how you control the power, there's like different levels. So one, you can just create fireworks that look pretty, but then and but that's like the lowest level of power that I would be using. And then the other but then the highest power would be like the danger of fireworks, because fireworks can actually hurt and burn people really badly. So I kind of took that into play in terms of like you can use it as like a weapon, like an explosion, but it's depends on the user and like how much control they have. So I gave the character that I made for myself a lot of control and power, so they can go so she can do like very powerful attacks, or she can just use her powers to like for fun, so that way people can enjoy it like fireworks. So yeah. But anyways, that's the whole thing like I was having an issue with. So I don't know in terms of like what types of heroes I'm gonna make, and because what happens is having the concept is one thing, but like also looking at like you don't want to be similar to like the thing is because the guy who created My Hero Academia is actually he loves Marvel and all those Western comic books. So a lot of his characters are actually based on Marvel itself, and like the idea and the concept and the powers. So it's very similar, and yeah, so trying to not be too similar to his concept of characters, like in terms of their powers, like Bakugo having exploding powers, is going to be kind of difficult. But hopefully I can do it, because I do want to make my own hero artwork for like characters and stuff like that, and like concepts. So yeah, so here is the overview of my drawing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and happy birthday to Deku. Yeah. I gave him, I forgot to mention when I was outlining, I gave him a plush of himself in his hero costume, so that way it's his birthday gift. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you can check out my links in the description box below. All my social media is there. And if you like and follow those, the process work of Deku will actually be posted there. So yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.